This is Ingredient Insiders. I'm John Magazzino.
And I'm Andrea Parkins.
On each episode of Ingredient Insiders, we'll be talking with chefs and food writers about their favorite ingredients.
We then speak to the producer of that ingredient to learn its history, how it's made, and why chefs love to use it in their kitchens.
Andrea, how are you doing, Andrea? We've been on the road for a while.
I'm feeling a little tired.
Yeah.
But I'm also feeling excited because we were able to record some really awesome content.
I know. We've been to California, to Oregon, to Chicago. I'm probably missing 3 other cities. But this is a fun one. We had a chance to talk to Todd Gosule, who is the Executive Vice President of Sales for B&W Quality Growers. Did I say that right?
You said that perfectly, John.
Okay, good. Whenever I think of B&W, I think of arugula and some really beautiful, like not just regular boring produce, but some like exciting greens.
Yes, I always think that they have some of the top quality lettuces out there. I'm excited to talk about an ingredient that I feel like is going to be having a moment.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about watercress.
I love it.
I was going to say I love watercress. I took the words out of your mouth.
You did.
And I know during this conversation, this is going to come up, is that like, where's all the watercress?
I mean, it's funny because after we recorded the episode, I went grocery shopping at kind of like a normal, I would say, I'm going to say run-of-the-mill grocery store.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any.
It's hard to find.
It is.
So why is that? We need to get to the bottom of this.
We do. And I mean, watercress from a flavor profile perspective, if
Peppery.
You haven't tried it, it's peppery.
Delicious.
Some people say it has some wasabi notes. It's almost like if mustard leaves and wasabi had a baby,
yeah,
it would taste like watercress.
I just think it's delicious. It's crunchy, and we all need to eat more watercress.
Absolutely. It also grows wild. I was watching a TV show all about food in the Appalachia.
Yeah.
And it grows wild there.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of restaurants that will just kind of go into their yards or, right behind their restaurants and able to pull
it out of like a creek or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you also watch shows about like people who go noodling for catfish?
I do.
Because it sounds like it's along the same lines.
It is. I watch all of those shows and I'm, guilty pleasure of mine.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But here we go with an amazing episode all about watercress with B&W Quality Growers. This episode is in partnership with the Chef's Warehouse and produced by Gotham Production Studios in New York City. Joining us from Florida today, Andrea, is Todd Gosule from B&W Quality Growers.
I'm so excited to be doing another produce episode. B&W is such a great partner at Chef's Warehouse, and we're expanding with them. I feel like every month I'm seeing more and more SKUs pop onto the market.
So Todd's the Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
B&W, if you're a chef or restaurateur, or even I think a home consumer at this point, you know that brand, you know that label. I always think of B&W arugula, but you guys are doing a whole lot more than just growing incredible arugula. Talk to us about what B&W does, and then we'll get into why it's so damn good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to chat, and thank you for the great partnership that we have with Chef's Warehouse. And yes, we are expanding and love doing things like this, and obviously love talking about my company and love talking about relationships with customers. So we are a 154-year-old company. We actually started as a watercress company, and we got into the arugula business about 30 years ago. And we were one of the first companies to get into arugula, and we started with bunched arugula, which if those of you that are not aged out, bunched arugula was predominantly sold into the major Italian markets, and it was more of a cooking veg at that point. We migrated into the baby arugula business about 20 years ago, and we've become one of the premier growers and packers and shippers of baby arugula out of Florida. and we ship to all over the country. And we're very, very proud of our equity that we've built with the trade. We are we're well followed and well supported by the chef community because of our product, and I can get into the specifics behind that later. But we are predominantly a food service operation. We do some retail business, but we are big supporters of the food service community.
There's so many things I want to talk about right now.
I have a lot of questions.
Bring it on. Let's talk.
All right. So the first thing I want to ask is, what's the difference between arugula and rocket? Are they the same thing?
Good question. Rocket is a variety of arugula.
Okay.
That and the difference in our product is it's our seed. So we work with seed producers to grow and produce our seed that we require. And there are basic stipulations associated with seed that most growers want to have relative to mildew resistance, relative to humidity and insect pressure, and temperature control, things like that are basic to any kind of farmers. But then over and above that, we have to look at size and shape of the leaf. We have to look at flavor profile. So our arugula is what I would consider more flavorful than what's out in the rest of the community. And so we want to make sure that we maintain that flavor difference. And that's what the community expects from us, and that's what they want from us. And so that's why we are always testing new varieties every year. But we look at the agricultural side. The farming team takes care of that. My responsibility is, what does it look like on a plate? What does it taste like? What does it look like? What's the shelf life? And so we go through that due diligence multiple times a year.
Well, you're doing a very good job, because one thing that I will say about B&W arugula, first of all, chefs ask for it by name.
Absolutely.
It's so consistent. It's so good. Everything is field grown, correct? Am I correct when I say that?
Do you own the fields, or do you send the seeds to farmer partners? How does that work?
No, we are fully integrated as a company.
Oh, wow.
So
that's awesome.
We grow all of our products. We grow in a variety of states. We're in 8 different states over the course of the year. And we are fully integrated from seed to finished product.
From seed to shining seed is what I was going to say. So you said the word earlier, and it's funny because I haven't talked to anybody about this, not even family or friends or Andrea. I love watercress, and I can't find watercress at the retail level anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like watercress, and you know better than us or I about what's going on in the world of watercress. Is it no longer like watercress was either like a garnish or a salad ingredient that I feel was prevalent many, many years ago. And if you look at old cookbooks, there's a lot of watercress being used, filling the cavities of chickens and things like that.
Yep.
I think it is so underappreciated. I love watercress. That's why I'm saying this.
You sound like Oprah.
Right now.
I love watercress.
Yes. Talk to us about watercress.
I would love to talk about watercress.
What is the story with watercress? Is it hard to grow? Is it
right?
Watercress goes back 1,000 years ago, and in fact, the world's first hospital was built by Hippocrates. And I don't know if anybody knows that, but it's a little factoid. And he built it right next to a watercress bed, because back then, food as medicine was where everybody had to be with lack of modern medicine. And so there was a belief, and it's been founded since then, that watercress has medicinal properties. And so that's why Hippocrates built the world's first hospital right next to a watercress bed.
That's so cool.
Yeah, watercress is growing. To your earlier question, it is heavily consumed by the Chinese community as well as the Hispanic community. They use it in a variety of dishes, mostly cooked. Both segments tend to cook their vegetables, and so they use it in stir fry. The Chinese use it in hot pots and soups. So we sell a variety of watercress options. One is our bulk wholesale bunched product, which is used for cooking purposes. And then we also sell a food service pack, which is ready to eat for the food service community. And that is 100% usable, no prep required. It's chopped up already and it's ready to use by the chefs. And we also have it in a retail bag for the consumer.
Is it a popular item these days? Because I'm going to make. Go ahead.
I think you hit it on the head. Is that the challenge is there's a lot of healthy vegetables and fruits out there, and the department is you walk into a produce department and that everything's in there healthy. So now you got to break through the clutter, and I think watercress is. And I've been doing this for almost 15 years with this company, and so watercress is one of those products that unless you grew up with it or unless you really are dialed in from a health aspect of it, that it's really one of those it's one of those products that is just doesn't have the relationship with the consumer that it should. It's the healthiest vegetable on the planet, bar none.
And see, now I'm excited. I'm gonna make
You're
a prediction.
You're gonna see it in a week on John's Instagram. He's gonna be making watercress everything.
I'm making a prediction now.
Okay.
Like if we go back 10 to 15 years ago, not even.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, kale starts to show up.
Yep.
Kale salads are on every menu at every restaurant. Not every, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kale became a thing.
Right.
Kale Caesar salad, massaged kale.
Yep.
Then, if I'm not correct me if I'm wrong, then came the Brussels sprout explosion.
Yes. Yep.
So now you can get roasted Brussels sprouts with
With
sriracha, every which way. I always try to kind of like think about what's the next hot thing.
What do you think it is?
As part of my life. Cabbage,
yes,
I think green cabbage is about to pop.
Yep.
But
I agree with that.
I am going to say that in the next year or two, watercress has a renaissance.
Okay.
No one will remember this conversation, so if I'm wrong, no problem. If I'm right, I can come back and play this episode to everybody.
If you're right, Todd's going to send you some
But I really
watercress.
think, and now that you're telling me, because I honestly had no idea about these like health benefits.
Do you know what the health
properties?
benefits? Like, what are the medicinal properties, Todd? Do you know
watercress?
that? Yeah.
Absolutely. First of all, it's very, very strong in vitamins A, C, D, E, and K.
I need all those.
Yeah.
Virtually everything. It's got over 50 vitamins, minerals, and compounds. So it is the only vegetable that scores a perfect score on both the Andy scale, which is the aggregate nutrient density index, and the CDC scale. So it's the only one on the planet that scores perfect scores on both of those scales.
Is it grown in water? I mean, I've seen wild watercress where they pull it out of like streams and stuff like that.
It does. It grows in flowing water. We have all of our watercress beds are laser leveled to a pitch, and we have water that flows through the watercress beds. And so we'll talk about sustainability and what we do as a company, but yeah, we are the world's largest grower of watercress.
Oh, wow.
And we also have a proprietary variety of red watercress that we provide the food service community.
Gorgeous.
Does it have all the same like health?
And then some. As you know, red leaves tend to be a little bit stronger in antioxidants. And so it has all the benefits of green watercress and then higher antioxidant properties.
All the chefs that are listening to this, all the restaurant owners, Get some watercress.
Make John's
on your
dreams come
menu.
true.
Make my watercress dreams come true. I mean, it's so delicious. It's peppery.
It's so good.
It's got a great texture.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever really cooked a lot with it, but I love the idea of sauteing it now.
It's incredibly versatile. It really is.
Yeah.
And I think you hit it on the head earlier when you said it was a garnish on a steak. And when you go to a steakhouse, you'll see it as a garnish. It replaced parsley as a garnish. But the reality is that our goal is we want it to be one of the things you're consuming, not something that you're moving to the side and getting it out of your way. And so we want to elevate it into the dish as an ingredient so that people understand that it brings flavor. It's got great flavor. It's got great versatility. It can be eaten raw in a salad. It can be cooked with. There's a variety of different methods. I put watercress on my pizza, and it's amazing.
Bring back the watercress.
This season of Ingredient Insiders is brought to you by Bizzini Nuts, a name synonymous with exceptional quality and taste in the world of gourmet nuts and dried fruits. Whether you're crafting a Michelin star-worthy dish or just whipping up something delicious in your home kitchen, Bizzini's premium selection is designed to inspire your culinary creativity. Elevate your dishes with the rich texture and flavors that only Bizzini Nuts can offer. From toasted almonds, perfect for garnishing, to pistachios that add a crunch to your salads, Bizzini has everything you need to enhance your recipes. Don't miss this chance to impress your palate and your guests with Bizzini Nuts, the chef's choice for quality and flavor. Do it.
All right, so let's talk. Sorry to go off on the watercress tangent, but let's talk about what B&W produces in addition to watercress. In addition to arugula, what are some of the other products that B&W is growing?
Yeah, thank you. We operate by really three different mantras. And one is we like to find things that are difficult to grow. We like to find things that are healthy and flavorful. And we like to find things that we can provide a point of differentiation in the marketplace.
Smart.
Smart. We're not out to rule the world. What we are out to do is like all my brethren in the industry, we want the world to be healthier, and we want people to eat healthier. But we want to own those categories that we participate in. And so that's how we got into the products that we have. Currently, we like I said, we're the world's largest grower of watercress. We are one of the largest growers of arugula in the world, certainly in North America. We have also gotten into baby spinach. And the difference of that was our point of differentiation was a true baby spec versus there's nothing worse than eating a salad and having to pull out your knife and fork to cut through your salad. So we provide a very tight baby spec on our baby spinach. We just launched a kale blend, which is it's called a red kale medley. And it's a combination of green kale and red kale, and we've added watercress to it. So we just launched that 2 weeks ago.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So we have that in the food service community, and then we are going to be rolling that out at some point in the very near future at retail. And we also have a new product that, if you don't mind, I can just talk about for a second. It's called water spinach. And water spinach is a vegetable that has been heavily consumed by the Asian community for years. Goes under a bunch of different names. The Chinese call it ong choy. So it's a cooking veg. It's a cooking vegetable. And what we did was, for the last 2 years, we've been working with state legislation and the USDA to become one of the first companies in North America to commercialize this. And be able to grow it, because it is heavily regulated, because it can be an invasive species if not checked. So we've developed all the land, we've developed all the processes, and we've been approved by USDA in the states to be able to grow, pack, and ship this almost everywhere. We're working on a few other states, but we are offering it both in 25-pound version for the Asian community. And then we've just recently launched a 5-pound box for the food service community.
I feel like I just read a huge story about this in the New York Times or somewhere. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. It actually just came out.
Yeah, this whole thing about Chinese spinach.
Interesting.
And
That is us.
But the part, and that there was the regulatory stuff,
Yes.
because it's an invasive species, and talking about that.
We've worked very hard behind the scenes, but this is a great vegetable. It's super healthy.
Yep.
It brings some flavor, and it's a whole new game changer for the chef community to bring something different.
Does it have a different flavor profile than regular spinach?
Absolutely. It's a hollow stemmed long leaf, and what you do is you basically, you can add it as an ingredient. You can saute it in garlic and oil with a little bit of salt and pepper. You can do whatever you want with it, and it's extremely versatile from a culinary standpoint. And think about when you go to a restaurant and you're ordering your spinach, you sauteed spinach or cream spinach. It's a nice alternative to that.
Yeah.
It makes a great side dish.
Yep.
I want to
Great
try
product.
this. You did mention, Todd, about sustainability.
Yes.
And it's something that I think is so important. What is B&W doing now to, I guess, be sustainable?
Thank you, and that's a great question. And yes, we are stewards of the community, and we're always challenging ourselves to get better on these things. So what we've done is we've taken all of our watercress beds, and we are 100% recirculated water. So that coupled with the fact that we grow in 8 different states allows the land to lay fallow. So when you think about the water table being replenished, we are actually a negative water user as a grower.
Wow.
So we are very, very proud of what we do, both from a water management standpoint. We've taken all of our packaging and all of our boxes. We've converted all of our watercress boxes that we use for bulk wholesale, and we've converted them to recyclable plastic. So made from 70% recyclable material and 100% recyclable. So we've converted all of that to where in the past it was waxed boxes, and as you know, wax boxes would end up in a different landfill and a different have to be handled differently by our customers. They don't have to do that anymore. So we are always challenging ourselves to get better at management. We've taken some of our processes internally and we've applied them. For example, we used to use as the industry used to use chlorine in their wash tanks. We've gone to a different type of material for washing and cleaning our product. And the end benefit is that it breaks down into carbon dioxide and water. So we are always looking at ways to get better, always looking at ways to improve ourselves from a sustainability standpoint. And we're very, very, very proud of what we do.
You said, I should have asked this earlier, the company is 154 years old. First of all, who's B and who's W?
That's it, yeah.
And talk to us a little bit about the history. I mean, 154 years ago, how did this get going? You look so good for
154.
Yeah, we've been a family-owned business up until 2014, we were in 5th generation of being a family-owned business that started in the watercress business. They merged. How B&W merged was 2 separate watercress companies that came together and formed B&W.
The golden age of watercress, Andrea.
Exactly.
Do you remember that?
I know you do, John.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing about this company that intrigues me every single day, and I come from big companies. I come from 30 years of being in the produce business. Was I didn't have to teach quality here. It was built into every single person here. They understand quality. They understand process. They understand how to do the basic blocking and tackling every day so that we know we're putting out the best product that we can every single day. And so that was such a refreshment and such an opportunity to take that and say, how do we go and expand that and then spread the word? And I think that's why we have such great, strong trade equity, is because they appreciate our attention to detail. They appreciate our shelf life and our quality of product.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to the chef community. They know they're ordering it by name because of the quality. So when they receive a case of watercress or spinach or arugula, they know it's going to be exactly what they want it to be. And they don't have to worry. So I think, and it also speaks to who we are at Chefs. You know, like we want to feel like that about all of our products. So B&W is a great fit for our produce lineup. And we're happy to have you.
Well said, and thank you. We feel the same way.
Now I want a salad.
Thanks so much, Todd. This has been an awesome conversation.
Thank you.
I've learned actually so much in this 20-minute conversation.
And Andrea learned so much, which is always great.
It is.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Ingredient Insiders. Follow us on Instagram at Ingredient Insiders. You can find the products we discussed on today's episode at chefswarehouse.com or at your favorite specialty retailer.